About Schooglink, the whole idea is to provide access to affordable quality education using a tech-driven blended model of learning with localized vernacular content. We are initially targeting the 225 million K-12 students in rural India, but the solution is designed in a way that pretty much it can be adopted for any country, any developing nation which requires affordable education. Globally, there are 1.5 billion students in the K-12 segment, kindergarten to K-12, out of which 600 million, which is nearly 40% of this, today lack basic skills of mathematics and reading, although 2/3 of them go to school. In the Indian context, there are 265 million K-12 students, out of which 90% students appear for various state board exams, and only 10% appear for CBSE, ICSE exams. In India, there are 15 lakh schools, 85% of them are in rural India. There are, out of these 15 lakh schools, there are 10.5 lakh government schools, out of which 1 lakh schools are single teacher schools, single teacher teaching all subjects, all grades. Of the remaining 4.5 lakh private schools, there are only 23,000 CBSE affiliated schools and 3,000 ICSE affiliated schools and some international schools. The rest are all what fall under the affordable private school segment. So when you come to the rural geographies in India, you will see a private school with an English medium board outside, but the school may not even have an English teacher. So they typically tie up with one of these affiliated CBSE schools where the kid can go for the board exam in 10th and 12th. And basis that, they are running these schools, which are primarily a source of income for the proprietors and may not even have adequate teachers. So this is the gap, this is the geography, this 85% India is what Schooglink is focused on. How do we create a solution which is easily accessible to the students, which is affordable, and at the same time provides quality education with which they can achieve best of the results in their school times, which then motivates them to strive for bigger things in life going ahead, and don't give up on education just because they were getting poor results in their school days. That's the key idea of Himanshu.
Yeah. Tell me about your vision, Himanshu.
So what we want to do is pretty much become these solution for affordable education market. Any child, when we talk about these 225 million students in India or 600 million students worldwide, which are today lacking in education, for them, Schooglink becomes the Bible. So we are able to reach each of them. They are able to use our solution either through our Schooglink grassroots centers or through our app, which has completely localized vernacular content available for them in their language. And that's my vision, that we become the de facto solution when we talk about affordable education space.
What do you hope to achieve from this company, your mission?
So the achievements are twofold. Like I started by saying that we always wanted to create a solution which is making a difference to somebody's life. So we definitely want to create that impact. We want students to remember that, I became what I became in my life because at one point of time I got into a Schooglink grassroots center, and that helped me shape my future and not give up on studies. For example, I was at one of our centers while I was touring Bihar, and there I found a kid, maths का क्लास चल रहा था और किताब में कुछ नहीं लिख रहा था. तो मैंने उससे पूछा कि क्यों नहीं तुम कुछ सॉल्व करो, मल्टीप्लिकेशन, सिंपल मल्टीप्लिकेशन चल रहा था उस समय. एंड द किड सेड, नहीं सर मेरे को तो यूट्यूबर बनना है, तो मैं पढ़ के क्या करूँगा. बोला यूट्यूब से लोग बहुत पैसा कमाते हैं. मैंने कहा हाँ, तो ये बात अच्छी है, इट्स गुड टू नो दैट यू आर सो एम्बिशियस और ये सब चीज़ें. एंड वी स्टार्टेड talking to all other students in the classroom, and this was in Bakhtiarpur, in Bihar state. तो फिर कुछ बच्चियों ने बोला कि सर हमको फ्लाइट क्रू ज्वाइन करना है, फ्लाइट अटेंडेंस. एंड सम ऑफ देम वांटेड टू गेट इनटू डिजिटल मार्केटिंग. वेरी डाइवर्स. सबको इंजीनियर डॉक्टर नहीं बनना था. हमारे टाइम में आप किसी से पूछते इंजीनियर बनना है, डॉक्टर बनना है, या फिर आर्मी में जाना है. 3 things, but majorly engineer डॉक्टर. So now these kids have that exposure that they want to go around. बट फिर मैंने उनको बोला कि ये दिस इज गुड दैट यू आर थिंकिंग डिफरेंट थिंग्स, बट बेसिक मैथमेटिक्स एंड रीडिंग स्किल्स आपको आना जरूरी है. अनलेस अगर आप 10th 12th नहीं अच्छे नंबर से लाओगे तो व्हेन यू गो फॉर योर इंटरव्यूज और योर सिलेक्शन फॉर अ जॉब, तो यू विल नॉट गो थ्रू वेरी फार. एंड यूट्यूबर भी बनना है तो भी यू नीड टू हैव बेसिक स्किल्स, यू नीड टू हैव बेसिक एनालिटिकल स्किल्स, जिससे आप एक सक्सेसफुल अपने लिए एक प्रोफाइल क्रिएट कर सको. So that's what I told the kids, that this education is important. So that is one we want to do, is create that impact. And second, obviously, we are looking at it's a for-profit organization. We believe it's a multi-billion dollar opportunity. If you just do a simple maths, अगर 225 मिलियन बच्चे हैं, 22.5 करोड़ बच्चे इंडिया में हैं जो रूरल ज्योग्राफी में है, अगर हर बच्चा 300 रुपये महीना भी अगर ट्यूशन फीस पे कर रहा है, so if you do 225 million into 300 into 12, that's $10.8 billion revenue today, which is going to the unorganized mom and pop tuition center. उसके results तो मैंने आपको बताया कि 40% बच्चे का डब्बा गोल हो गया. तो even if we do 10% of that as a revenue target with Schooglink, I think we'll be looking at $1 billion plus revenue, and this is just the K-12 segment. अभी तो हम लोग we are going forward. Our team is working on that round the clock right now. We also started vocational courses, so we are teaching kids basics to computer programming, Python, Android programming. और उसमें भी बच्चों ने हमसे बोला कि सर आप ये सब मत पढ़ाइए, आप हमको पढ़ाइए माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ऑफिस कैसे चलाते हैं, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल में डेटा कैसे भरते हैं. हमने कहा ये सब क्यों सीखना है? तो सर वो बगल में वो स्किलिंग सेंटर है, वहाँ पे यही सिखाते हैं. So typically these skilling centers which are being run are just being done to get these guys to get a data entry job, data operator entry job, 15-20 हज़ार वाली सैलरी का. They don't even know what is Python. They don't even know there's an IT industry that exists in a city called Bangalore. So I told them, ये जो 15-20 हज़ार की सैलरी सोच रहे हो, तुम 10 लाख 20 लाख 50 लाख की सैलरी सोच सकते हो. फिर सर आप मजाक कर रहे हैं, ऐसा तो होता ही नहीं है. A part of it is of course also giving them a bigger horizon. But with all this, I think the other thing that we are looking at, or I am personally would be looking at, is also generating a good wealth for myself, for our investors, for the company. And given that it is rooted at the grassroots level, I think this is only bound to grow year on year. क्योंकि इंडिया में एक टीचर की दुकान और एक डॉक्टर की दुकान और एक लॉयर की दुकान, ये वर्ड ऑफ माउथ से ही स्प्रेड होते हैं. एंड एक बार आपका नाम बन जाता है तो आप जिस डॉक्टर के पास बचपन में जाते थे, एट द एज ऑफ 70 ऑल्सो यू विल बी गोइंग टू द सेम डॉक्टर बिकॉज यू बिलीव इन दैट डॉक्टर कि इनको मेरी नस पकड़ ली इन्होंने. सेम थिंग विद एजुकेशन. सो आई थिंक इट्स अ लॉन्ग टर्म बिजनेस. सो दोज आर द टू मेजर थिंग्स दैट वी आर लुकिंग एट, financial success as well as a grassroots level impact for our students.
What do you think your investors will gain from your?
So our valuation has been growing year on year. I think when we raised our first angel round, we were like at 20 crore pre-money valuation. We had done the last fundraise at 75 crore pre-money valuation, and now we are looking at a Series A fundraise of $5 million, which will be at, let's say, around 45-50 million dollars. So, and given the market size that I just talked about, given $1 billion opportunity, and that everything in for us is tied to revenue. We are not playing any traction numbers कि इतने downloads हो गए या and we have seen where those companies have gone which have done purely on traction by burning VC money. For us, I remember that at one point of time we had only 23 rupees 14 paisa in our corporate account left. I still have a screenshot of it. One day when we are big, then we will maybe share it with you and you can put it on one of your write-ups. Yeah. So but to say that we are very frugal. For us, VC money is angel money and it directly goes into generating revenue. So with that, I think VCs will make big returns out of their investments in Schooglink. And there is always a good sleep at the end of the day that आपके पैसे से कहीं पे कोई बच्चा पढ़ रहा है उसकी ज़िंदगी में. But there is always a Honda City or a Hyundai or a Maruti which is there for, it still serves the same purpose and is more affordable. So that's the second major advantage, that we are not cheap, we still have enough margins. Like we talked about the numbers. We have 70% gross profit margin at our Schooglink grassroots centers. But keeping it at a price point, which is what the larger audience is used to, which is our second advantage as compared to our competitors. And third part is, of course, the content itself, which is, like I said, is rural first. It's vernacular. It's been created by the local state board teachers, and now we have complete content from kindergarten to grade 12th. This has not been created in a studio 1,000 kilometers away and then being pushed down. So accessibility, affordability, and quality. And when you look, I mean, I have interacted with some of these mom and pop tuition centers, as I was mentioning, and I found a guy, he was teaching 200 kids and he had 47% marks in his grade 10th and some 50%, 51% in grade 12th. तो वो अब 200-250 बच्चों को पढ़ा रहा है, तो क्या पढ़ाएगा, right? Versus for us, our teachers are compulsorily first division in maths and science in 10th and 12th. And that is the first criteria before they even get to our interview, written test stage. Then an interview and then a 1 week's training program before they get deployed. So ensuring quality at every point of delivery is what, when we talk about the blended model of learning, and not, because online solutions definitely have good quality, they're doing great. But when we talk about the blended model at a grassroots level, that is where our quality kicks in. So with these three, accessibility, affordability, and quality, when you put all these three together, we are the best fit as compared to a purely online solution or a purely offline solution. And that's a key advantage vis-a-vis any of our competitors in either of these. So when I travel, I teach at these centers. The kids look forward to it and they demand, sir, aap padhaiye. I was telling you about the first center that we opened. So, coming from an English medium background, I taught in these centers in pure Hindi. Bahupad, Dhan, Rinatmak, Dhanatmak, right? So the advantage that I have, of course, with my academic background is, see, the videos that we play in these classrooms, they are not only feeding to the student, they are also feeding the teacher. So what I used to do is I used to play a trick. So I would play the video for 2 minutes. I would watch it while the students are watching it. और फिर मैं माइंड में one-on-one मैप कर लेता था कि अच्छा, polynomials is bahupad, अवतल उत्तल दर्पण is convex concave mirror, and then I would talk to the kids. And if I got stuck, I would say, अच्छा इसको इंग्लिश में ये बोलते हैं, हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं बताओ जरा. And then I could, and I love teaching. And by the way, we also have another app called the Schooglink curriculum, which is for the CBSE students in the same geographies. उसका पूरा 9th और 10th का मैथ्स का कंटेंट मैंने खुद बनाया है. And when I go for recordings, मेरे कैमरामैन लोग they know कि अब सर पूरा, because I record back to back 3 chapters in 24 hours, so we'll do like back to back recording for 18 hours. So I'm known for that in Schooglink. I also interact with my teachers who are teaching at these 25 centers. If they have any doubts, they send them to me. I love to solve it and send it back to them. So while being an entrepreneur, I am also a teacher at core. I have 2 kids. My daughter is in grade 10th now, and my son is in grade 5. I teach them whenever I get time. And in fact, they also love the whole solution, and they feel proud ki, what my dad is doing. And last 6 years, other than the lockdown, I was pretty much out of home. एक महीने में 1 या 2 दिन घर रहता था. Otherwise, at these centers, when I visit schools, I interact with the school kids. I give them basic problems to judge कितना बच्चे को आ रहा है, क्या gap है. Then I interact with the teachers. See, this is the gap. This is how we can help. When I was in Anuppur, I got the district collector, Mr. Chandramohan Thakur, to actually record the entire physics content for grade 9 in Hindi. हमारे पास already content था, but he's also an IIT Kanpur alumni from 2006, and then of course IAS 2012, very deep rooted into education. तो वहाँ पे हम थे और हमने 10 दिन में पूरा फिजिक्स का 9th का कंटेंट बना लिया था. This was all based on experiments. And believe me, recording हमारा सिर्फ आधे घंटे का होता था, लेकिन उसका डिस्कशन हमारा 2 घंटे चलता था. Because when 2 IITians get together, the question was not how, the question was why. कि ये ऐसा होता है तो क्यों होता है. I'll give you a simple example. So we say that energy or work done is force into displacement, right? Now I go up the stairs and I come down. So the distance covered is 0. So work done should be 0. तो फिर मैं थका क्यों? अगर वर्क डन 0 है तो एनर्जी कुछ खर्च नहीं होनी चाहिए, बट एनर्जी खर्च क्यों होती है? तो इस तरह के एंड इफ यू सी दोज वीडियोस, दे आर सम ऑफ द बेस्ट वीडियोस वी रिकॉर्डेड. पूरा एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए हमने. आपको याद होगा कि हम लोग जब छोटे थे तो एक माचिस की डिब्बी से खेल खेला करते थे. 2 माचिस की डिब्बी को एक धागे से बांध के, एंड वी यूज्ड टू प्ले टेलीफोन. आई डोंट नो इफ यू हैव डन इट. We definitely did it in our days. And it's basically experiment mentioned in the NCERT textbook, जिसको कोई टीचर नहीं कराता स्कूल. And it's talking about sound. Sound requires a medium to travel. तो वो जो आप 2 लोग 2 रूम में चले जाइए, आपको अपनी एक दूसरे की आवाज़ नहीं आएगी, पर उससे आ जाएगी. तो there's a medium of connection. इस तरह के एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हम लोगों ने किए, बहुत सिंपल. So that's what I am in terms of an academician.